spoken word. And I figured out a different way to put it instead of, music without music. What it is if you want a sermon that'll convict your heart real quick, turn to one of these things. Because this thing got me so hard that I felt like that I just had to share it with you guys. And please know that I'm not just preaching to y'all. Anytime I come up here and say something, I'm preaching to me as well. And this is a spoken word called Almost. Now I'm here today to talk about the most dangerous word in English diction. If it could be translated into audio, it would sound like two words designed and strategically combined to form the biggest oxymoron in the history of mankind. Almost. But see, as far as the world is concerned, you could live your life foul. You could almost get away with murder if you have a nice smile. You could almost meet folks to almost sleep around and stop at your local clinic where you almost had a child. See, almost is no stranger to Satan, and here's the proof. He only tells lies when they're almost the truth, and it's amazing. But in our incompleteness, we find complacence. But if almost is one of Lucifer's many traits, then we are all inadvertently good at Satan impersonation. But on the contrary, Christ did his job fully, and he proved that he was God when he died on the cross like it was his duty, and pardoned my iniquities that I committed rudely. He resurrected from the grave just to tell death to excuse me. See, an almost Christian looks right but lives wrong. They can't stand the conviction in Romans, so they sit down to be comforted in Psalms. Never understood worship, but loved to sing songs like, I surrender almost. Because even by worldly standards, it would be highly insane for you to start spending all of your money before you almost get paid. And parents, you wouldn't send your child to a school that's almost safe. Or ladies, would you date a man that said he was almost straight? This is the very thing about God that we all try to get around, because his standards are like two mountains. There's no middle ground. So a halfway life is unprofitable to you, because after all the Sunday schools, band practices, and Wednesday classes, and everything in between, God will say, I never knew you. And this is the very thing that had me. I was bound and held down by the unforgiving gravity of my spiritual reality. I was a Christian. Well, I portrayed the fantasy. With a filthy personal life, but a God bless you brother personality. I was a male, enveloped in sin because I was stamped a sinner. My message couldn't be received because I didn't represent the sender yet. I was almost delivered. So that one day that I absolutely and completely surrendered. Now, excuse me, I get excited on that subject. Let me get back to putting the word in context. Now, you could ask the Clemson Tigers. They'll tell you the same. You don't almost look bad when you almost lose a game. Just like you don't almost go to hell when you almost get saved. Now, before I leave the stage, I got something to say. We have all worked in sin, and death was minimum wage. Now listen, this is important. We have all worked in sin, and death was minimum wage. But if it wasn't for Christ, we almost got paid. Amen.